Don't Starve Together, the game where you and your friends prove time and time and time again that you didn't read the title. In an environment so unrelenting with so many ways to die, it's important to make sure you are prepared, and fast. Considering how little the game tells you about how to survive initially, you must have a game plan. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what should be in your base to help you survive best. It will be a beginner-focused guide to help you get started. This video is going to use the following structure. Section 1, base location. Section 2, easy to craft base structures. Section 3, post-combat base structures. Let's get straight into it. First off, Section 1, base location choice. Now, there are many biomes that you can choose from to put your base at or near. Here are all of the notable ones for base purposes. You can choose Spawn, which is right next to the Florid Postern. You can choose the Pig King biome, the Marsh, the Queen Bee Plains, the Graveyard, the Badlands, Oasis Desert, Forests, the Rocky biome, and some special other ones throughout the world. You should consider all of these carefully, as where you choose will drastically influence what materials you have access to. My recommendation is this: choose a location that will have the materials that you need the most. For example, if you are playing as Weber, put your base near a forest which has spider dens. That way you can constantly get monster meat, silk, and spider glands. If you are playing as Wigfrid, who can only eat meat, consider putting your base next to a grassland or frog ponds so that you can benefit from the rabbit morsels and frog legs. You get the idea. And it doesn't hurt to be near the essentials like wood, grass, and rocks either, so try to be near those as well. At the end of the day, if you're overwhelmed and want to start simple, it doesn't hurt to just choose making your base at the Florid Postern. It's what I do personally and allows you to be in the middle of everything. Try out different locations and see how you do. With that out of the way, let's move on to Section 2, easy to craft base structures. This section is intended to show you which structures are a must-have on your checklist. These are all relatively easy to craft and do not require combat in order for you to attain the materials needed to craft them. They will be presented in the order that I believe will result in the highest chance of survival for you. Let's get started with the first one. Number 1, Science Machine. It costs 1 gold, 4 wood, and 4 rocks to craft. You can get gold and rock from the rocky biomes and wood from the forests. You'll have to find twigs and flint lying around in the world to get the tools required to get wood and rock for the axe and the pickaxe tools respectively. For many, this is the very first structure they place at their base, and this is because you cannot craft many of the essential things you need for gameplay, such as tools, gardening materials, and more, without the Science Machine. It is a must-have in the beginning stages. You cannot progress without it. An important tip about structures, and this goes for the other ones as well, although you have to be at a Science Machine to craft something for the first time, which is known as prototyping, you can craft items anywhere after prototyping them. So definitely start with this after loading into a new world. The Science Machine has an upgraded version, the Alchemy engine. This costs 4 boards, 16 wood, 2 cut stone, which is 6 stone, and 6 gold to craft. Alchemy engine is basically a better Science Machine, and it allows you to access crafting more things that would not be possible with just the Science Machine. This includes golden tools, which are basically higher durability tools, beefalo taming structures, ice boxes, thermal stones, and more. Make this as soon as you can, and once you have, you can destroy the Science Machine for its resources since it will no longer be needed. On to the next one, number 2, Fire Pit. Fire pits are essential for survival as well, as one of the most lethal killers in the game, which I've died to more times than I'd like to admit, is darkness. If you didn't know, once nighttime hits, if you do not have a light source, then the darkness will kill you. Having a fire pit is the supreme way of avoiding this, because torches don't last long at all and cost a lot of resources to craft, and campfires don't last long and they can burn your stuff if you die near them. Fire pits do not risk burning your stuff and can easily be refueled with just about anything. Put this near the center of your base so that you're always prepared for nighttime. Also, fire pits are essential to not freeze during the first season after autumn, which is winter of course. Pair fire pits with a thermal stone and you should be good to go. Third is chests, number 3. This costs 3 boards, which is 12 wood. This is self-explanatory as it greatly helps with inventory management and can make you more efficient. I'd recommend building at least 5 to 10 chests so that you have plenty to work with. Consider designating some chests for specific resources. For instance, having a wood chest, a grass chest, spider materials chest, and so on. This will also help you manage your space. Consider using characters like Maxwell and Woody if you think grinding for wood is annoying, by the way. Next are number 4, Crock Pots. This is crucial for keeping your hunger meter up. In the beginning stages, you're going to have to rely on luck and your biomes to find food to get you by, like seeds, berries, carrots, and other sources of food. One of the ways to get your hunger bar higher faster is by making a crock pot. These crock pots will help you gain access to essential foods like meatballs, pierogies, banana shakes, and more. Please note that although getting the crock pot's resources to craft do not require combat, getting many of the ingredients for the crock pot does, such as meat, which is one of the most common ones. What I'd recommend starting with is meatballs, as it is the easiest food to cook with a crock pot. 2 meatballs is enough to fully recover your hunger bar on basically all characters. All you need is 1 meat or monster meat, which you can get by killing pigs and spiders, common mobs that are nice to start with when practicing combat. And 3 fillers. This can be ice, vegetables, or others. You can even keep track of your recipes once you craft a cookbook. Definitely don't take too long to get started on crockpot recipes, as it will save you so much time and resources in the long run. Now it's time to discuss gardens, starting with number 5, the garden Digimajig. Aside from some other starting garden items, this is the first thing you should start with. This goofy looking thing will create farmland for you to till. Don't ask me how, but it'll allow you to plant seeds and start growing crops. This is absolutely essential, as it will provide you with much of the healing that you will need to keep yourself afloat. For instance, toma roots, potatoes, and eggplant all heal you for 20 HP when cooked. Carrots can be used to make insanely helpful foods like tall Scotch eggs, and the list goes on. Get experience on gardening early so that you can expand your farm later and have seemingly infinite food and healing. Lastly for this section is berries, twigs, and wood. Something you may not know is that you can actually dig up the berry bushes and twig saplings that you see around the world. The saplings you receive after digging can be planted at your base, which you can use to make berry and twig supplies right next to your house. The acorns you get from chopping trees can also be used to plant trees. I'd recommend choosing a location at or right next to your base to plant a generous amount of berry bushes, twig saplings, and acorns, so that way if you ever need quick essential resources or you need to make a quick item after dying, you're more than prepared. That just about wraps up the easy to craft base structures. I hope that was helpful for you guys. We will now be moving on to structures which are just as useful but are more difficult to attain because you have to engage in combat to get many of the resources. For instance, silk is locked behind spiders, and nightmare fuel is locked behind either nightmare creatures or evil flowers, which leads to nightmare creatures. Both methods require combat. Consider these structures your stretch goals to work towards once you get better at combat. And if you feel competent to slay the necessary monsters, then even better. Let's get into it. First is number 7, the icebox. Now, after a lot of grinding in this game, you will have a lot of food. You may notice that most food spoils, some faster than others. Is there any way to combat this invasive and frustrating mechanic? Yes. Insert iceboxes. They are literally refrigerators in the game. They require 1 cut stone, 3 rocks, 2 gold, and most importantly, 1 gear. You know how to get the stone and gold now, but the gears are not so easy. They are locked behind finding and killing the clockwork bishop or the clockwork rook, which are located in the same location on the map. These are definitely more difficult than just the average pig or spider, so only tackle this if you feel ready. There is another method of getting them though. You have to go to the Badlands and search tumbleweeds, which have a 1% chance of dropping gears. This may seem like a small chance, but there's a good amount of tumbleweeds in the biome, so it's not so bad. Either way, get this ASAP so that the valuable food you find, cook, and grow does not go to waste. Also, there is an upgrade to iceboxes called the Salt Box. It requires 1 cut stone, which is 3 rocks, 1 blue gem, and 10 salt crystals. This is a stretch goal for sure, because it requires seafaring to mine salt formations and finding a blue gem through methods like killing blue hounds or digging up graves. But if you can manage this, it's worth it. They are 4 times as effective as an icebox. Don't get rid of your iceboxes though, because salt boxes cannot store cooked food and certain cooking ingredients. Next is the Prestihatilator, number 8. This will allow you to craft magic items which are very helpful for your survival once you get into minigame. It costs 4 live bunnies, 4 boards, which is 16 wood, and 1 top hat. It also has an upgraded version which can craft more magic items, the Shadow Manipulator, which costs 3 living logs, 1 purple gem, and 7 nightmare fuel. As you can tell by the required ingredients, making these structures is not easy, but doing so is worth it because it leads to many helpful items. For instance, life-giving amulets are a crucial way to revive yourself and to save your world if you're at risk of dying. They can only be crafted using these structures. Further, the Dark Sword is one of the highest damaging weapons for mid-game and can only be crafted using the Shadow Manipulator. It's absolutely worth your time to grind for the necessary items and to get your hands on these magic items. Alive bunnies can be attained through bunny traps, top hats are created with 6 silk from spiders, living logs dropped from tree guards and totally normal trees, and purple gems can be crafted with 1 red gem and 1 blue gem. If any help is needed on this, do not hesitate to ask me and everyone below. On to number 9, the tent. This one is straightforward. It costs 6 silk, 4 twigs, and 3 rope, which is 9 grass, to craft. When you choose to sleep in a tent during dusk or nighttime, you're essentially agreeing to trade your hunger for health and sanity restoration. The most optimal time to use a tent is if you need health and sanity and have a lot of food to back yourself up. This can save you from dealing with sanity creatures or dying prematurely if you have no other options. Try it out. The last one for this section is number 10, the Birdcage. I did not know about this as a beginner, and I really wish I did. You absolutely need a birdcage to make pierogies, one of the best healing foods in the game. For the birdcage, you need 2 papyrus, which is 8 greeds, you can find those in the marsh biome, 6 gold, and 2 seeds. After capturing an alive bird using a bird trap, you can put it in the birdcage. This is a fantastic resource for 2 reasons. First, if you want to grow specific crops in your garden, like for example, if you only want to grow toma root because of its beneficial healing, you can feed the bird toma root, and it will give you toma root seeds for you to plant. This is amazing for advanced gardening. Secondly, if you give the bird meat, either monster meat or regular meat, it will poop out an egg, which can be used to make pierogies. And that is it for the most advanced base structures. For this last section, I'd like to get into some structures which can be difficult to craft, but are so essential to your survival and your base not being destroyed, you must know about them in advance. The season system in this game comes with many challenges, including a unique boss for each season, and unique ways for you and your base to spontaneously combust. This section is intended to help you avoid death and get through these seasons with ease. First is number 11, the Ice Flingomatic. Once summer comes along, your entire base is at risk of burning down completely due to how hot summer is. Goodness gracious, could you imagine if this is realistic? We'd never survive summer. But anyways, Ice Flingomatics are your perfect defense. They cost 15 ice, 2 electrical doodads, which can be found in refined materials, and 2 gears. As long as you keep them fueled up with charcoal, wood, or otherwise, Ice Flingomatics will yeet snowballs at literally your entire base. Don't worry, it doesn't do anything other than lower the temperatures of your structures and put out fires. It is a must-have. While about to place down the Flingomatic, you will see its radius. Make sure that your entire base is within the radius. If it's not, either move your base around to fit the radius or make multiple Flingomatics. This way, you are fully prepared for summer. Do consider them that it may not be possible for you to make these if you're unlucky or if you simply don't have the time to get the resources. Be prepared with water buckets if this is the case, because water buckets can put out fires as well. Number 12, the Endothermic Fire Pit, builds off the previous one because it is also essential for summer. They are literally the opposite of fires and will keep you cool during summer, and it can constantly be refueled in the same way as the regular fire pit. It costs 2 niter, 4 cut stone, which is 12 rocks, and 2 electrical doodads. Just make sure to put it outside of the radius of your Flingomatics if you plan on using it, because your Flingomatic may put it out by accident. Or you can also put your Flingomatics on emergency mode when you're using the fire. And lastly, we have number 13, the Lightning Rod. It's exactly what it sounds like. Lightning will strike the rod instead of your base, which prevents your base from burning down or you from being struck. It can also be an emergency light source if you have absolutely nothing else. I've used that before. It costs 3 gold and 1 cut stone, which is 3 rocks. This is relatively easy to craft, and it helps so much, so don't forget this, because your base could literally be toast if you're not careful. And that, my friends, brings us all the way to the end of the guide. Thank you so much for anyone who has stuck around until the end. I truly hope this has been helpful for you guys. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I make helpful, thought-provoking, and entertaining content like this all the time for many different games. I look forward to seeing you around. For now, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Live well today.